Who are the starseeds and what's their purpose? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sylvia Salow and I help lightworkers and starseeds to remember who they are. And in this video I want to go a little bit deeper into understanding who are starseeds. And if you are one of them, to help you understand what you are doing on Earth. So I would divide basically everyone on planet into two basic categories. There are so many more, and this is just for simplicity. The first category is like human souls. Basically, it's all of us. We've been genetically manipulated. We all carry certain star lineage in our DNA. This is how those evolutionary leaps take place. We are not here evolving, isolated from everywhere else. It looks like it, but that's not the case. And I think more and more people are awakening to this understanding. So in a way, we all carry certain star lineages within our DNA. So in a way, we are all somehow impacted by other star nations. So in a very loose, broad sense, we are all starseeds. But in this video, I want to talk about the second group, who are actually the souls who have spent majority of their lives on different planets. And yes, they also have bodies that have been genetically manipulated, because that's all of our bodies are like that, of course. And but those starseeds, they actually have spent, as I said, majority of time somewhere else, and they came to Earth for specific purpose, and just in specific periods of the evolution of Earth, to contribute somehow to the evolution that takes place here. So you can be starseed, and yet the seed of the wisdom, starseed wisdom in you, might still be dormant. It might not be active yet. Or perhaps you are a starseed who is awakened and who is activated. And what do I mean by activated? Being activated basically means that there are specific light codes or key codes, if you will, within your DNA. Specifically within a so-called junk DNA. It's just like amusing to think that there is something like junk DNA. Anyway, there are those key codes and light codes that you can awaken, you can activate them. And when this happens, it triggers your remembrance of who you truly are. It will help you to remember your connection to different star nations. And it will also help you to truly step into your purpose and mission that your soul had chosen before coming to Earth. Remembering is a huge part of it. That's why many of you know, many of you have been part of my school of Remembrance, where I work with lightworkers in Lightworker Healing and then starseeds with Starseed Healing, where we truly activate those parts of your DNA and you really start remembering who you are, how to use your gifts, what your purpose is. And you most of all heal those very deep soul wounds that are holding us all back without even realizing that they are there. So you might have been working on yourself, on your mind for a long time, and still you feel like there is something holding you back. It goes somehow deeper. This is where the soul healing steps in. So this remembering is very important. This is basically our purpose here as starseeds. In the universe, there are different types of souls. If you will, I don't mean this term in that sense how many people might interpret it, but there is different order to souls. So we of course know like archangels, angels, and so on. There is a lot of like types of souls on the level where we are as well. And they are basically differentiated by the way they were created. And now I don't mean like physically created, I mean their essence, their timeless, infinite essence. And also they are differentiated by the purpose they have. And us here, we are learning through having experience. We need to embody our wisdom. We need to learn, to operate and work through experiences that we create with our minds, that we create with our higher chakras. And then experience the results of what we had imagined before. It's like a huge, gigantic hologram. And this is our types of being, what we are doing, why we are learning. So when you came to Earth, it's for the reason because there's something for you to learn here. Quite clearly, Earth is a magical place where you have basically influences of so many different star lineages. You have influences, from Lyrans, who are the masters in sovereignty and soul's power. Lyrans might be perceived sometimes as being selfish because they are just so aligned with Source that they wouldn't, corrupt their guidance just to make you happy. So by others, they might be perceived like very tough. Like when you communicate with Lyrans, they are very much on the point. They are very straightforward. There's no walking around. Then you have star beings like Pleiadians, who are something like the mother to humankind. They provided the mother line DNA. And Pleiadians, so we all connect to Pleiadians, all of us, because that's like who basically kick-started this whole experiment that is happening on Earth. Pleiadians are the masters in soul healing and in unconditional love. They are the masters like when it comes everything related to soul. Then you have star beings like Syrians, who are our fathers, basically. And before anyone tells me anything, I'm not talking mother, father in that sense, like a source or a creator. It's more in that DNA's kind of sense of word. So Syrians, they are the keepers of wisdom. There are huge libraries, Akashic records are held there, where they contain all the knowledge in at least our galaxy, but I start to think it goes beyond our galaxy. Then you have Arcturians, who are the masters when it comes to mind and working with the mental energy, but also with the energy as such, to purify your energy bodies and to really align your mind. And we could almost call it like this divine masculine quality of being focused, clear, and having like everything organized in your mind. Then there are other star beings like Andromedans, who actually are helping us to also understand Christ consciousness together with Pleiadians, Syrians, and Andromedans. They are all keeping the Christ consciousness for us. They are like helping us to really step into it. It exists without them as well, but they're just helping us to really understand it and step into it. Andromedans, for them it's very important to really find harmony, in between different species, and find a common dialogue between people. And they also sometimes struggle with the physical level of reality and with their physical bodies. And I could continue like this on and on. There are different star nations in our galaxy or beyond our galaxy that are very intertwined with Earth. We are basically running here an experiment, which is something like we are trying to find harmony, peace, and balance between different aspects of God's consciousness. So all these star lineages, they are basically the keepers of something specific, as I just had mentioned. And what we are doing here is really finding the common path, how they all can coexist together in one melting pot, which is our civilization. It's our global, civilization on Earth. That's what we are doing here, actually. And so what I see often, this is case pretty much for everyone, for all star nations to some extent. For some it's more than for others, but there is always like this kind of like almost as a conflict between mind and heart or soul. So it might be represented by having very high-tech technology, having like a huge knowledge, but being underdeveloped emotionally and at a soul level. So you misuse your power, you misuse the technology. You use it to enslave species because you don't have activated Christ consciousness inside of you. And for you it's the same to, to playing a computer game. There is no the deeper aspect that actually makes us the spirit aspect of self is disconnected on purpose. So basically this conflict between mind and soul, this is something that we all, I do believe that every civilization on every planet at some point, they have to come into understanding how to move both technology and soul. You cannot have only one. That's what we were trying on Earth, Lemuria, living from the heart, living with nature, Atlantis, the mind, technology. Did they work out? No, not really. They got destroyed, right? So now we are trying it again. And I hope we will have better luck with that. And so this is also the reason why many starseeds, many of you came here now, because you want to help with this gigantic experiment. You want to truly, find that common path and bring that harmony there and that understanding, because each of you starseeds are carrying specific key codes that are the reflection of your own particular star lineage that you can bring to Earth. And this knowledge that you'll bring to Earth on some level, it can be frequency level, energetic level as well, just you being here, you are showing up for the homework. This particular information that you have within you can help everyone else. That's why you are here. That's your purpose as a starseed. That's why you are here on that level of a mission. Then it's your personal level, because at the same time, this here grows you like anything, because you have so many different aspects of consciousness which need to find a common path. They need to stop fighting with one another and understand, hey, if we just raise our consciousness a little more, those things that we are fighting over, they actually are not in contradiction with one another. They do actually make sense. We just have to open up our minds a little more. We just have to open up our souls, our hearts. And suddenly there is no conflict. So that's why you are here. You are truly learning also on that personal level, personal soul level. What's important to you is to truly understand how all this like melting pot of different genomes and star lineages is shaping you as a soul. Because, for things you would have to go on different planets, you have access to them here, all of them, that are essential to you. And so this is basically who starseeds are. Starseeds are being souls. Souls that have traveled through many different planets. Often or sometimes people ask me, is it possible that I feel my connection to more, star lineages? Let's say I feel very drawn to Pleiades, but then I feel confused because I also feel drawn to, Orions or someone. Is it possible that I somehow have been involved with those two or even more? Yes, it is possible. I'd be honestly quite surprised if that wasn't the case. But as you are really activating those codes, you'll remember more and more. You'll remember more and more of your galactic heritage that you carry inside of you, that you've been part of and you still are. And so it is absolutely possible, I would say likely, that you actually do have more of those star lineages inside of you, and that you have spent some number of lives on different planets. And then just to make it a little bit more confusing, you can have like the Pleiades, the constellation, right? And there you can have Lyrians, Sirians, Pleiadians, and others living in the same constellation. So you might feel like, oh, I feel attracted to the constellation of Pleiades, but I don't feel like I was Pleiadian. Well, you didn't have to be. There's a lot of migration, collaboration happening in our galaxy because everything is about community. Everything is about mutual help and support. This is how we ride the waves. This is how we roll. We help each other. Nothing is separated. It's just the illusion of mind, of the ego part of mind. So, yes, it is possible that you have more of those, memories inside of you, and they'll be awakening as is the right time, as you feel ready for them. From one perspective, you don't have to be waiting for it. Time doesn't change anything. It's the change in you, in your consciousness, your decision that shrinks the timeline for you. So I also invite you to watch my next video on Starseed Lightworkers to understand a little more of the mission. But I hope this video has been helpful to you and that you've enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe, like, and share with other starseeds. And let me know in the comments below if this resonates with you. Thank you so much, and see you again.